I was confused.
So y'all said whatever I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay, got it.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Whatever Podcast, the show where we talk about whatever. Okay, today we have 2 more Trilla G ENT members. Very excited to have them here. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. You guys can just, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nate. I'm a photographer. I'm from San Francisco. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Kathy. I'm from Shanghai and Vancouver. I dabble in photography and some other visual art, like painting and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, it's great to have you guys here. Let's see, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, first,
Yeah.
Well, one, it's so great to have y'all here,
Yes.
especially, and it's great to have y'all a part of the team of Trilla G ENT, because, I guess one of our missions is to create, a global collaborative space, and I guess coming from you, your identities and your backgrounds, I guess you're from San Francisco. You mentioned Shanghai and China, but I guess what does it mean for you to be here at Davidson, but I guess representing, different identities that come together? Big question.
That's not too there, right?
That's a big question.
I think for me, my identity is definitely something that's prevalent in my everyday at Davidson, just because, I straddle this weird boundary between being, I'm definitely international because I'm Chinese and Canadian, but then at the same time, I already have those 2 identities, so the mix of that is weird. I consider myself a third culture kid, which means that because I'm a mix of other cultures, I've created this third culture for myself. And it's also weird because when I was in China, I went to an American school, so I got that American exposure, and coming here, it's been interesting to look at, first of all, the things that I didn't know about American culture despite growing up in an American school. And also just, it's been interesting navigating the space with the identity that I do have. Yeah.
That's dope.
Well, yeah, for me, I think I mentioned this to Kathy before, but my identity is something that I've been struggling with, especially this school year, because the more I spend time around other people and in a sense of their identity, the more I realize that I don't really have as strong of a connection as I would like to the culture I claim, the Filipino culture. Yeah, I was born in the Philippines. Yeah, I was raised as a Filipino child by Filipino immigrant parents, but other than that, I don't really know much about the Philippines, our culture, what we do. I don't even know our Independence Day. So but in terms of my art, I do want to learn more about my culture and kind of incorporate that later on. My experiences they already kind of help, they influence what I make, but I want more of a representation from my culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's it like, if it applies to you, what's it like being an Asian artist? Or do you feel like there are any obstacles you have to go through? Do you not feel any pressure at all? Or do you not have to identify as an Asian artist? You're just an artist. I'm just curious, what is that like, for you guys, as artists?
I don't really know what it means to be an Asian artist, because I've never really been around other Asian artists until recently to get here. But in terms of at least family, within my family, there's always kind of this push towards medicine, nursing, lawyers. So when I told my parents I wanted to be an artist, they kind of were just like, what do you do with that? Blah, blah, blah. So kind of just navigating that and kind of still pursuing what I want to despite what they say.
I think for me, because I spent most of my life in China, being Asian is the norm. So it wasn't really until coming to Davidson, where it wasn't the norm, that I became a lot more conscious of my own Asian identity and how it interacts with other identities on campus. And I think that's when it started informing my art more. I think because I haven't had the experience of growing up here and developing the vocabulary to talk about like Asianness, that I'm still slowly getting there, and I want my Davidson experience and the classes I take and everything to inform my art and make me a lot more acute to social problems. But as for now, like, the hope is to be able to express it through art, whether it's visual art or creative writing. Even like in the beginning of the year, I guess, like, I really wanted to, so I was taking an Asian American literature and film class, which I really recommend. I know this doesn't apply to you guys anymore, but I would apply to everyone watching. But like, it made me think a lot about everything, like a lot about everything. And so I created a piece that was about like Asian feminization and hypersexualization of women. And a lot of it is just like, I guess, the balance between reclaiming your sexuality by being sexual versus, and that being like an individual development and personal experience, versus like how much you can express that overtly before it gets taken by other people as like deepening that hypersexualization of Asian that's a trend here. So that was like, I guess, the first piece I've ever done that's related to my Asian identity. But other than that, I haven't done much yet, and hoping that I can do more in the future. We'll see. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the coolest things about, I guess, this space of art, whatever the medium is, that you do have this, even if you are seeing yourself in like this liminal transitory space between, all right, am I this or am I that? How do I balance between these two identities? For example, like being black or being American, like what do I find in space in this balance of, all right, what do I hold true to, like, as far as like African American culture, like I'm really disconnected from, I guess, African heritage in terms of my family, because, you know, a lot of my family is from the South, and like from histories like slavery, things like that. So it's not like I'm directly connected with, I guess, the country that I'm connected with back in Africa, where, you know, where like my descendants come from. But I have this space to do this investigative search about, okay, what does it mean for me today to, like, I guess, be in my skin, see through my eyes, walk in my shoes. And, you know, I feel like it's a constant uncovering. It's a constant, like, archaeological dig. I'm always finding new things every day, even if, like, I create something and I don't even know what it means. I feel like it's reflective, it's meditative, and, you know, in the future, as I just continue to have more life, continue to have more experiences, then I can look back on those things and say, oh, this is what I was going through. And as you said, just applying the knowledge that you gain every day in your Davidson courses, to just like the discourse about your own family and your own heritage. I think that's dope. Yeah, even with you, like when you say like you haven't been around like too many other like Filipinos or just like Asians in general, like other Asian artists, and this is like the space that you have to like finally figure that out or seek to figure that out. Like I'm excited for you, man. That's dope, because, you know, as you said, like your family had these expectations, so to speak, of you like fitting into like this mold, and whether if I'm giving justice or like doing injustice to what you said, please let me know. But, you know, finding that passion that you have through photography, I think this is your space in your area to like really start to shape your own narrative. And, you know, if that is something that's not a norm, then you can like help make it a norm, because I don't feel like anybody should be compartmentalized to like a specific capacity, just because that's what a lot of expectations are upon that person or that social group. So,
Trilla G is a team of pioneers and innovators, and we just, you know, we start things, and, you know, we make things that things the norm. You know, like stuff like this isn't something that happens like normally here. So, you know, you shouldn't feel any fear about, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone and just doing something radical. You know, because that's the cool thing about art. Art is just like very limitless, and you can be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want. And, you know, people just have to take it or leave it, because that's like your expression of yourself. And speaking of identities, like I'm Nigerian, Jamaican, and American, and I was like, it was interesting, you know, coming, like being born as like those three different things, and also just being born in Brooklyn, because it's just like a melting pot of so many different like cultures. So I think now I'm at a place where like I claim all three, and I want to like learn more about each of them. Because like even though I was in New York for 18 years, you know, and that's my home. I haven't explored, you know, like New York to like its fullest, and I haven't even done a lot of the things that people. I only just like recently visited the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that. Just recently been to the Brooklyn Bridge, you know what I mean? So I went to Nigeria when I was 10 years old, but I didn't really get to experience it yet, and I still have yet to go to Jamaica. So you know, I think you know now that we're all getting older and we're getting our own money and stuff like that, we can just you know take these trips and travel and just kind of you know bring a camera and just experience it like through our own eyes, but then also just you know how to like put that through like the lens of art and everything. So we could just you know really we could do whatever we want, you know, pun intended. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Nate, are you trying to go to like the Philippines at some point?
The last time I was back was 2015, so 4 years ago.
Good.
But I want to go back this summer.
Ooh, absolutely. Do that.
Yeah, but it's tough because of scheduling.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Are you doing something else during the summer?
Hopefully Ghana.
Oh,
okay.
do tell.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on the money.
For sure.
Okay.
Is that a program through the...
Davidson? Yeah.
Okay. Good. What are you gonna be doing over there? Do you know what you're gonna study or?
Not yet. I haven't decided on the classes.
Okay.
I know there's one that we all have to take after 232, I think.
Mm.
But we get to choose one of two classes from one of two classes. And other than that, I look forward to doing service over there if I'm able to go.
Absolutely.
Because I just love working with kids. They bring me so much joy that I don't really get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I know from people who've gone last year or previous times. There are a lot of artists out there too.
Mm.
And one of them actually used one of my photos and made it into like a little black and white art piece. So that was pretty cool. So I'm trying to connect with them.
Yeah.
Very fresh.
Absolutely.
That's fresh.
That sounds great.
That's
Kathy,
really
are you
good.
studying abroad at all?
For the summer?
Summer or next semester or whatever? I don't know.
Summer, no.
Okay.
I'll hopefully be doing some research.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll go abroad in the spring.
Mhm.
We'll see. Yeah.
I highly
not sure.
recommend going abroad. That's like the best thing to just kind of separate yourself from Davidson and be in someplace totally new. It just gives you like a whole new perspective. And for me, Prague was very like life changing for me because I needed to separate myself. I was burnt out after my sophomore spring semester. It was crazy. I was like taking you know the 4 classes, but I was taking a computer science course, and that was killing me. And I was doing a documentary, my first one, and I was trying not to mess that up because he was like on me about that, and I was just so done, and like you know mentally I was drained. So if I didn't like leave, I thought I hit like a ceiling of growth, and that's why like abroad came at the right time. Went abroad, just kind of got some perspective. I was on my own, just reflecting on like what I wanted to do. Came back with a new mindset, and then like 4 months later we started Trilla G. So like that's that's the story. New Zealand was like you went like sophomore spring, right?
Yeah, I had to go. I said, sorry, I've been here too long. But I went to New Zealand, Aotearoa landed a long white cloud. It was incredible. I was like based in Wellington, and it was really dope because it was like really a melting pot. Like, because New Zealand is seen as like, I guess one of like, it's a smaller country in terms of I guess a global scale, but in the South Pacific it's like one of the larger countries. And so you have like a lot of immigration from other Pacific Island countries, so Tuvalu, Tokelau, Cook Islands, French Polynesia, like all the islands there, like Hawaii, like people coming from everywhere, like the Solomon Islands. There are a lot of people from like some Eastern African countries too, like from Somalia, Somaliland, Ethiopia. There are a lot of people from Malaysia, Indonesia, like Myanmar. Like everybody was there. It was so dope. But it was interesting because I was like the only like African American from like the United States there. And it was like, we all was good. But it was just really welcoming. It was like a very warm space. And I really wanted to separate myself from, I guess, the group that I came with in terms of like studying abroad, because I wasn't there to like hang out with them. I was there to like experience the country and learn about the people and the culture there. And so as soon as I touched down, I was like, all right, how can I get involved with what's going on within the community? I took a Pacific Studies course, which was like so incredibly eye-opening, just like wonderful to learn about the diaspora and just like arts and economics and health and gender and like all these other different things in terms of like Pacific studies, like viewing through a Pacific lens, but also like being able to take design and music production, like just meeting so many people, collaborating, like hanging out at the Madai, like eating meals with everybody and just like going to different hakas and stuff. And I was like, what? This is crazy. So study abroad, especially like as Lawrence says, you get a chance to disconnect from the institution that you're at, but you get to take the learning and the experiences that you have at that institution like someplace else. And so like Davidson is like very, I guess, pressure heavy. So like being able to take the skill sets and like that work ethic with you everywhere else you go, one, you're gonna stand out because you always you know how to be on top of your work and manage like heavy loads. But two, you can use that to your advantage to like even like build more relationships and say, oh well, we can work on this, and you can still divvy out your time. Like it was dope. I have to go back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I gotta travel everywhere.
I gotta go back to Prague. Well, you gotta come to Prague, and I gotta go to New Zealand too. So you gotta just do that.
So, and let us know when y'all trying to come through too, because more likely than not, we'll have a studio there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like photography studio, recording studio, whatever. Like we'll make it happen.
Just have bases like all over the world.
Bases. Trilla G ENT, Samo, like what? Trilla G ENT Prague. That's fresh.
Okay, so you guys are both sophomores, right? Okay, cool. So you're going into your junior year. How do you feel? Like, well, how's the semester been? How does it feel like you're about to be a junior? Majors have to be like declared and everything. Like, what's going on with that? Like, it's a very important time. I'm very curious.
First of all, we're both trying to apply for the CIS
Oh yeah.
majors.
Okay.
CIS, shout out CIS.
CIS right there.
Film and Media Studies. Yeah.
Digital
Big
media,
love.
ethnography,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It's complicated though, so I'm just gonna hold off until I know
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure by the end of this week if I get in there or not.
Yeah.
I'm not about to be held accountable by some video. Otherwise, I don't know. I feel like I'm taking a lot of courses that I'm interested in.
Okay.
I think I'm definitely beginning to recognize like the things I want to prioritize more. I'm meeting a lot of cool people, and including like professors, are just definitely developing relationships there. I don't know, like I feel like sophomore year can be hard, and it has been hard. Like academically it's been good, and friends-wise it's been really supportive, but like you end up dealing with some personal things here and there, and that gets hard and gets in the way of academics. But otherwise, like, I don't know, like, I'm excited for junior year. I think it'll be good, yeah. I'll do important work.
Yeah. What like major are you trying to create? Like, hopefully you get in and everything goes well. Like, so what's the?
Well, let's put it this way.
Lawrence, really try to get it out of me.
Let's put it this way. What would you like your academic experience to look like here at Davidson?
Oh, okay.
Okay, pretty much, I think the best way to describe it is just go ahead.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to create a major in transnational literatures. We'll see how that goes. Just because, like I already covered, like my background myself is very transnational.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in like reading more multicultural literatures that of like people who have more like porous identities, and like looking at that like kind of double identity phenomenon, and yeah, like more, I don't know, like more fluid identities than like than being like confined to whatever conventions there may be already. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
That's cool.
So question, how does linguistics play into that in terms of, I guess, like translation or transnational? It's the idea of like having to blend and like move between different cultures and identities. How does language play into that? And what do you feel is lost in translation when it comes to language?
Heavy questions from this dude.
I just
So before I was trying to declare global literary theory, and that would have involved a lot more translation work. I think because I'm working right now for this specific major, I think I want to work under more of like the Asian American, Asian Canadian context. So, I mean, it could be interesting to look at linguistics in the sense of like what people retain generationally language-wise. But I think like right now I'm in a world literatures class with Professor Parker, and it's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Professor Parker is the best.
Yeah, and we've like looked at a lot of different translations of poetry, and it's just interesting to see, like I don't know, it's interesting to see what dominant cultures impose upon other cultures, or impose upon like what they think other cultures are like. Like I recently wrote my paper on this haiku and learned that haikus aren't necessarily the 5-7-5 3-line poem.
Really?
Yeah, like generally in Japan they're written in just a single line. And I don't know, like it's interesting to like think about how this perception of like the 5-7-5 tricep became like the dominant like haiku form for like Western poetry. And, yeah,
So
it's
that-
strange, yeah.
Oh, so excuse me for interrupting, but does it still have those 17 syllables? It's just in one written
It's
outline.
like one like long
I feel
line.
like it's just in general all like a lot more flexible than we would think. Like a lot of there is 5-7-5, but also a lot of the poems that, or at least the poem that I was looking at the most, was the poet like played around with syllable count. So I think it was like actually 5-10-5, something like that. Like it was definitely something that I looked at in the paper, was like how much more flexible the structure is
Sure.
than we make it. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Nate, now the hot seat. Your turn.
What was the question again?
So sophomore year, interesting time. You're about to declare your major and everything. And so, like, how do you feel going into junior year? What major are you trying to make through the CIS department? You know, give me your thoughts.
Well, what I'm trying to make, I want to combine, I'm not really sure yet either, but like film and photography and like public health, or like a form of service. And like that's still something I have to iron out. And if not, I'm thinking about just doing film and kind of figuring that on my own, and how to use that as a way to serve other people.
Okay.
But in terms of looking forward for junior year, like how this year has gone so far, this semester has been a lot better so far than last semester. Last semester was rough.
Yeah. It's
And
like
part-
classes.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff.
Things. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this semester I'm taking a lot of classes that I like, that I'm really interested in. That, like, I'm not taking comp sci this semester.
Oh god. Oh god. Then alright. Say no more. I understand what I was saying. Comp sci is like every day, and you gotta have like you're meeting with your group partners, and it's just like hours upon hours. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's like the worst feeling ever. But that's trauma from like sophomore year. I don't want to think about it.
Actually, but this is scaring me.
It's really you know, it's one of those things where it's like 50% of the class is either you get it or you don't. And if you get it, then it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be like, whoa, this is really interesting. And if you don't, then it's just you got to really struggle. You got to
But
find your way through.
it's very doable, you know. Like, I took comp sci because I was trying to finesse mathematics. I said, I ain't gonna take no math
Yeah,
class
right,
here.
that's true.
I
Same
said
thing.
comp sci, and comp sci said sit down, and I was like, whoa. So our professor had office hours 2 times a week. I was seeing him 3 times a week. I went to both tutorial sessions, hours and a half, and then I was like asking somebody else for help who had like been a comp sci major. But it's like one of those courses, like even if you don't get it, if you like keep working at it and you finally get it, you're like, let's go.
Yeah.
And it's like you get that rush that, okay, this is doable and I can keep pushing through. It's gonna work out your brain. Like you'll feel your brain sweating like but I thought it was a very good learning experience.
I didn't have that rush. It was just I just needed to pass, and I did, thank God. So all right, it's over. Sorry. Please continue.
But yeah,
Taking
I'm
classes you're enjoying, yeah.
Yeah, and for next semester, like, I'm trying to go abroad for fall too,
Oh, good.
and I might go abroad for spring as well.
Oh, hey, get
All right.
yeah.
That's good, man.
Travel.
But I don't know where. Like, I still
Yeah.
need to look at the programs for fall or for
Gotcha.
spring.
That's definitely okay.
hmm
That's cool.
You know, you were talking about trying to combine like film photography with public health or some sort of service. so Zun Lee is here on the campus, and he's doing his master class. Like, I think this Thursday. It's the first one, right? He might be someone to talk to, because I mean, I know I don't know exactly everything that he does, but his like photos are like social activism and whatnot. So maybe like there's a way to like take the film classes here and then do that on the side too. Like your own like big projects could be based on that too. So there is room for that. That's why CIS is so cool, because they let you just really like explore and do what you want to do, which is like big. So shout out to Davidson for that. Fuji, Kelly.
But it's also a push for you to like really start thinking critically about, I guess, things that are not always seen as like critical lenses to like academia. So when it comes to film, when it comes to music production and things that we're doing, like the film and music and like arts CIS majors weren't really that prominent. And like Lawrence and I, we like had to do a lot of trailblazing for ourselves. Like me particularly, is like digital media and ethnography. So combining film, music production, digital art in terms of like telling stories like through anthropology. So like it challenges me to think about, okay, how am I using like this medium that I have of photography, or this medium that I have of film, and like what's really underneath the stories that I'm telling. So when it comes to like the time I spent down on Sapelo Island, like one thing that's really important was highlighting that, I'm stepping into this space, but it takes time to build comfort with the community members there, because I didn't just come in and say, hey, I have a camera, can I just observe you and take photographs? Because that's like very voyeuristic, that's very exploitative and just like invasive, and I didn't want to give off that at all. And honestly, when I came in, it was for service. I didn't see this as like something that would turn into like my thesis, but now it has, because I built that relationship and built that trust, and over time people are just like, do what you do. Yes, that's Victor Allen with the camera. He's just gonna be around and do his thing. He's entertaining, he takes good photographs, and it's fun to have him around. So like building that relationship through that. So I guess but like using that lens to uncover like deeper meanings into like the scenarios that I'm capturing. So what does it mean to be Geechee and to like capture this experience of like cast netting and catching fish, or going hunting in the woods, or like working on a community garden? What does it mean to like be in this space, and what does it mean to be each individual people? And I can't tell like their stories, but that's why I have a medium to do so, or at least get a glimpse of it. So what does, I guess, photography mean for you in terms of like how you use it and its importance to you?
Photography for me is a way for me to kind of articulate what I feel, or like what I think, because most of the time it's hard for me to do so verbally. So taking photographs and editing them is a way for me to kind of do so. And I guess that's why I'm so drawn to it, because I don't really need to talk unless I'm working with somebody else, or taking photographs with somebody. But other than that, it's just you and the camera and like your subject, and you kind of just work around it. And like I'm introverted too, and like I just like the quiet. I like just hearing the shutter go off. And,
Same question to you, Kathy. Does photography mean to you? And then you also dabble with art and drawing and everything. So like, how does photography and art help you like express yourself, or say things that you might not be able to say out loud verbally?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a very emotional person, so like definitely photography helps me express those emotions. But I guess I can answer this in two ways, like what my photography is like now, what I would like it to be.
Sure.
Right now, what it is like very just aesthetics based, and doesn't necessarily have too much meaning, but it's just fun to do. And like, especially when I'm working with my friends and having them model for me, it's like nice to make them feel good and see the photos that come out. And they're just, I don't know, like I vibe with them. But I'd hope that, and this is kind of going back to like what I was talking about with like trying to take more classes in like GSS, sociology, like different literatures, stuff like that. Try to end up making art that's a lot more socially conscious and does have a message at the end. rather than just being aesthetically pleasing. And I don't know, just educational art. Yeah, I think that's the end goal, hopefully.
You just recently did a shoot with like 2 of your friends, right? They
Yeah.
were both like, one was in like all blue, one was in all pink.
Yeah.
And that was like
Yeah.
the thing, right? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. She has dope photos. We'll put her Instagram
Oh,
somewhere
God.
there.
And Nate's
Thank you.
Instagram also.
I have one photo.
Yeah.
It's a good photo.
Yeah. Quality over quantity, you know, let them, you gotta build that up. It takes time and everything. I think it's good. Like, you guys need to be patient with everything that you're doing, It doesn't happen right away, and you have to, like, let life happen to you as well. It's been a big thing for us, like, we just, like, grew every semester because, like, things happened to us, like, as we just kind of moved along, and we were trying to, like, build things up with our crafts, but then you kind of hit a wall sometimes where it's just, like, you don't really know what to do, where to grow, but then you just kind of stop and step away from it for a second, like, let life happen to you. That's why going abroad is so great. So it'll be good to just be in a place you've never been before, and with people you've never been with before, and just like whole new like culture and new experience. So like if you're gonna go abroad for a year, and like a year and a half in the summer, dude, that's gonna be huge. Like, you're gonna come back and be like some savant with the camera. You're gonna be like flipping it and taking 10 photos in 10 seconds.
You're gonna have like 5 books published internationally, man. What? Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. So like, yeah, you guys don't have to like rush anything. Like, just let it happen to you like naturally, and you'll find your styles. And so like I'm super excited to see like you guys' growth.
Yeah.
And enjoying that experience, enjoying the growth, because oftentimes I guess like, and Lawrence can like attest to this too, like it's just been times where we're just like trudging. We knew we were like really close to something, like just breaking some kind of threshold and making something fantastic, or like, I don't know, just doing something big. We didn't know what it was, and it was like a lot of hard work, but at the same time we had to like kind of like get on our pivots and realize, as hard as we're working, we still got to enjoy this process too, like enjoy the music that we're making, enjoy the experiences that we're having that are feeding into this, enjoying the ups and enjoying the downs. And that can be really tough sometimes too, because you can get really discouraged when things don't work out.
A lot of downs.
A lot of downs. They can get really discouraging, but I guess like one of the words of wisdom Wednesdays, it's not a loss if it's only a loss if you didn't learn something.
Yeah.
So, even if you are in like one of those like those lows where you just don't know what's gonna happen with your work, what your the purpose with your work is, but just understand that it's through that continuous movement, despite how hard it gets, is that like that will be the defining moment, like that perseverance that you have to do it. So
Yeah, and I mean, I can definitely see, like, I don't know, I would like to create more provocative art, and I know that, like, right now my art is very, like, most of it is very just easily accepted, and I think that just takes, like, time and maturity and more confidence in yourself and your art, and
Absolutely.
not caring what other people think, so,
Yeah. Speaking of confidence, I remember like so this room used to be like the media lab where we would like make our mixtapes and whatnot, right? So when we first started, like our first mixtape, like freshman year, and compared to like how we're doing things now, we were so like stiff on tracks, and the way that we were rapping was so like, monotone, or at least me anyway, it was like monotone, and like we were like afraid to say certain words and everything, and it was just like, yeah, exactly. We were afraid to just like to really like speak our minds, and then it took like getting that comfortability and that confidence, like me especially, because Nate, like I'm also like pretty introverted too, and I used to be to the point where I wouldn't like be able to speak to people at all. So like art's helped me like gain confidence in myself and just like the things that I'm doing. And now that I hear like how I rap now compared to how I rap before, it's like you can see like the constant growth and everything, and that just comes with you kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and just being like, okay, I'm gonna take this risk, and maybe I'll fail, but that's okay, and then also we have like, I have the support of Victor Allen and Bradford, and now like now that like the artist collective is like, we have artist collective now, like you have way more support now, so like, if you're feeling like weird about something, you can come to all of us. There's like so many of us, so we're all going through like similar things, and so for sure, you guys should know that you always have our support for sure, like we will back you guys up, we will try to help you as much as we can, because we've been through it and we're still going through things now. Like after this is done, I gotta go. Go edit like for my movie and figure that out. And I'm like trying to figure out how to get past these walls and tell a good story. So yeah, we're all still growing. We're all still growing. You know, we'll get better. Everyone's still trying to figure things out. So yeah.
That was wholesome.
Yeah. You know, we try to be a little deep on the show and everything. Give some gems out to people.
Do you have any questions for us? You know?
Yeah, ask us some questions.
How are your senior years going? Your semester?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of came in with the mindset, and this started last semester, that, you know, sacrifices have to be made, or sacrifices will be made to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. And I guess rooming with Lawrence is it's bittersweet. Bitter because, you know, we don't get no sleep, but sweet because we don't get no sleep. But we're always getting stuff done. Like, this man pushes me. He's like, hey man, it's gonna be a late one. I said, same here. And I know I got Lawrence working like next to me. Like, hey, it's all good, because what our end goal is one, making sure that what we've established here is something that has like lineage and like continues, because I guess we didn't come this far just to see, I guess, other people and their inspiration in terms of like making art and having a niche here like just fizzle out. Like, that's not what we wanted this to be. We wanted this to be like something that's like continuous. Like, there's always, whether it's Trilla G ENT or not, just like the spirit of creating, the spirit of creativity, and the spirit of I belong here, my art belongs here, and this is valuable, this is important. Davidson should hear this. Davidson needs to have this. That's just like what we want to create. That's the momentum that we want to do. So when it comes to like creating a podcast, creating music videos, trying to get some publications out, collaborating with other people, you know, it's worth the sacrifice for me. And so senior year is going good, you know what I'm saying? Like, academics, I gotta graduate, so working on that thesis too. That's I have to do the thesis. But I mean, it's just all just like a big juggling act. But it's enjoyable. It is enjoyable because, you know, I'm really directing the things that I wanted to be engaged in this year, really making like meaningful interactions, just like getting to hang out with the Trilla G ENT fam, you know what I'm saying? Just like getting to kick it with y'all, that's important, because I mean, these relationships that I want to last like after Davidson, like, yeah, I'll graduate, but I mean, y'all feel free to hit me up, text me, and I'll do the same. Be like, yo, it's good, like, what y'all working on, what's new, how can we support, how can I support, how can we collab, and like, I'll be over in another country, be like, yo, come through.
Yeah, Trilogy's global.
It's global.
Very global,
like,
yeah.
yeah, just what I'm working for this semester is worth it. So it's going well. It's going well.
Good.
For me, coming into senior year, I had like no idea what to like really expect. It was a lot of like unknowns. I just knew that I wanted to, you know, like make a really big impact in some way. We came back, and the first thing we did was like plan for the I Love Union shoot, and we did that. That took took up like the first month, and then the next month was us just like figuring out how to, you know, navigate the success of that, and then, you know, like the other 2 months was me trying to stay motivated, because I was just like, yo, we're the shit now, and like we don't need to be here and all this stuff, but like, you know, just trying to like, because like after I came back from abroad, I started to like lose some kind of like motivation just to kind of just go to like these classes every day, because I felt like it was taking away from my creativity and from like making art. So just trying to balance like school with the art life, and finding, you know, like new loves in like this place that I've been for so long. That's been like the challenge for me, and it's been great so far, just because like we've been doing so many cool things like within the group and individually. So, you know, Trilogy is what keeps me going and like keeps me like motivated, honestly. Otherwise, like, I don't really know what I'd be doing. It's funny though, like last semester I wasn't feeling like super motivated, but I ended up having like the best semester I've ever had. So like that's nice. It's good to like see that my automatic is still like just to do. I still like do my best, you know, no matter what. So like that's good. So shout out to my parents for raising me right. So the first semester was cool, and then second semester was nice. It's going well so far, just because we've been able to. Now we're like established, which is great, and it's good to see like all the hard work we put in the last 3.5 years like paying off. Like, people want to pay us for jobs, and they want us to like tell our stories to different people, and then we're able to create opportunities for you guys and do things like this. It's been tough just because like I'm working on my like, you know, big project, my documentary, and I was running around like the country just like filming I was in Atlanta with Victor and had to go to the West Coast to see my brother and Brooklyn to see my mother, and I was just like interviewing a lot of people. And now it's crunch time. I gotta edit everything, and I'm trying to balance classes and do all these jobs for like people off campus and everything. So I'm juggling a lot of things, but it's good to know that Victor is kind of doing like the same thing too, and it's good that we're roommates because like I don't know what it would be like if I was with someone else because like we're up at like all hours of the night and just doing crazy things. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying like my last few months here. But I know that I feel like everything that we've done is gonna last here, and you guys can carry it on for us while we're like away, and we can do a thing where we leave like this big legacy. Like you guys like recruit other members, and then they carry it on for us, and like it's like this unofficial like group on this campus, and we're still like that beacon for artists, like hey, like you can come to us to create the art that you want to create. So it's going well so far. I'm hanging in there. It's been this last couple weeks been pretty tough, just like juggling assignments and editing projects and demands of other people, but hanging in there. My eyes are a little heavy, but it's all good. It's fine.
I just want to point out how he said this week has been and this Monday. It's just Monday.
Yo, all the days have been blending together, man. Like I don't know what day it is. I don't know what's going on.
4 more days. 4 more days.
Yeah.
4 more days.
Can't wait to get home. What are you guys doing for spring break? Like, are you guys staying here? Are you going home? Like, what are we doing?
I'm going home.
Okay.
But I need to get my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh,
No.
okay,
Oh
okay.
God, I don't want to do that.
How many is it? Like
All
both sides, all 4? Yeah. I just went through that. I went through that like right before, like the summer before senior year. That was interesting. Going under is like a really interesting experience. Like, are you gonna go under?
I have no clue.
Okay, you probably
I feel like
should.
you should, yeah.
It could be pretty, weird just watching them do that to you. But going under was interesting. It was like I'm in the chair and they put like the mask over my mouth, and then I felt like the gas like go up, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And then that was my last. And then I woke up and it was over. Like, all right, all done. And I was like, oh, really? And I was kind of like high, and I was like, oh man, hey, what's going on? Like, is it done? Like, whoa, it's great. And apparently I was like the most polite high person they've ever heard. I was like, hey, I hope you have a good trip. Hope everything is good. Just I recommend going under. It's fun.
I would love to go under.
Going under is a good experience. But yeah, that's good, man. Get rid of those wisdom teeth, and yeah, that's fun. What else are you gonna do at home? You just chilling, or?
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to recover.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, recovery. I feel that. What about you, Kavi?
So I've been working with the humanities program,
Okay.
which means I'll be going on a spring break trip to
Ooh,
Berlin.
nice. Oh, dope. That's
I'm really
great.
excited. Yeah. I have a friend there as well who I'm very excited to see.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Did you go to like Athens like last semester? Or something?
Yeah, for
Right.
humanities.
Just traveling all. Shout out humanities, man. I didn't even know
that's
like
true.
these were like options. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Cool. What are you guys gonna do in Berlin?
So Dr. Scott Denham has it planned out, and
Okay.
he's notorious for like very jam-packed itineraries.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like assuming that we'll be very busy.
A lot of
In
walking
fact,
and
yeah.
travel.
I'm really excited. I think
Yeah.
I'll definitely have a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But I also know that after I get back, I'm going to need to sleep for a really long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Recovery.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you're in Berlin, so it's like.
Yeah, I'm
hey,
super excited.
It'll be
Take
incredible.
advantage of it.
Take photos.
I will.
Yeah,
I
bring your
definitely
camera.
will.
Go
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, grab like random tourists off the street and say like, hey, I'm doing something. I don't know, just go crazy with it. Oh gosh, I remember it was like that when I went to Paris right before I came to Davidson, and it was just like that. It was like they wanted us to see like every single tourist spot, so we were like literally walking like 10 miles a day. They wanted us, all right, we're gonna go to this cathedral, that cathedral, hop on the train, go to the Eiffel Tower, and we're like, well, when do we get to rest? And like, well, we don't rest. You guys just we'll eat, and then you go, you can rest while we're watching like them talk about the monuments and shit. It was just like, but it's a lot of fun just because
Yeah.
you know when you get to like do this, you don't get to do this every single day. So
Mhm.
good luck, have a great time,
Thank you.
enjoy yourself. What about you, Vic? What are you doing?
I'll be going down to Sapelo Island, checking up on the community garden,
Dope.
checking up with the community members down there. Keep that relationship up.
Yeah.
Back to Atlanta, and yeah, back to Atlanta. Working on probably work on my thesis for a little bit, just a little bit. Work on some beats
And a vlog maybe? Vlog
We
number 1.
might have a vlog coming out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and hopefully I can link up with some of my other like artists, creative friends down in Atlanta, at least for like a day or so. Just kick it, just spread some creative vibes. We'll see what happens. And, yeah. What about you?
Me, I am going back to New York. I'm going back to Brooklyn. I am just going there to relax and recover. I wasn't planning on going back. I was planning on like heading down to Atlanta with Victor, but it was like 2 weeks ago, and I was just like feeling very overwhelmed, and I was thinking about like my mother. I talk to her every day, so I was just thinking like, oh man, I really miss like being home. And I had just got paid, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna book this flight right now. It's like, that's what I need. And after I booked it, I was like 20 times happier. I was like, good, I have something like to look forward to. My father just got back from Nigeria too, so I want to like go see him and just talk to him for a bit. So it'll be good to be home, just being like in that like creative space, and just like it feels so warm. Like when I come home, there's like this warmth that hits me right as soon as I walk in through the door, and I just feel like better. So I need that recovery time like a lot. It's been like crazy couple of weeks, couple of months. So that's what I'm doing for sure. Can't wait. These 4 days can't come fast though. But well, look, I think right now we're gonna want to do like final thoughts. We've been talking for a bit. We don't want to bombard them with too much wisdom here.
Too much wisdom.
I don't know if they can handle all of it. So let's do like any final like thoughts that you might want to, any advice you might want to give to like artists who are any artists or women or other Asian people, Asian Americans, stuff like that. Anything you want to say to the people. Let them have it.
How do you feel? Let them know how you feel.
Yeah. I hope you listen.
I don't think I have the credibility to give any advice here, but I don't know, like, I think it's hard at Davidson when you're not an official art student and you still want to create your art. Like first year, I remember one of my close friends, at the end of the year, I had a project that I had to turn in, and I drew a little, like, some birds and stuff, and did, like, this stop motion kind of thing. And then she looked at it and said, wait, Kathy, you can draw. And that hit me so hard because I was the art student in high school, and that was, like, what I was known for. And I realized that I had not done anything art-related my entire freshman year, and that had to change. So, yeah, it's hard, but I think it's still doable. Like, I don't know, like, I've told you guys that I started doing Friday art nights in my room sometimes, once in a while when I feel like it. Those photo shoots when I feel like it. And it's just doable. And I don't know. As for Asian Americans out there, I am starting with some other wonderful people an Asian American Students Dialogue series. We're called the Asian American Initiative. So if you guys want to, like, even for non-Asians, like, want to learn more about the Asian American experience, just let me know. I can send you the link and information. Yeah.
You can send that to us and we'll like put it there. Right there? Okay. Good. There you go. Good there. Sounds good. Nate, anything?
Don't be afraid to say no, because even if you do a lot of what you love, you can still get burnt out, and that can be bad, especially since it's something that you enjoy doing. So like for me, last year, I mean, I still do have this issue of like not being able to say no to people who ask me for photos, but I've been a lot better at it. So just learning how to do that, how to take care of yourself more generally.
Self-care.
So
Very
important.
So important. Oh my gosh. I remember our freshman year, we wouldn't say no to anybody. We were just like, oh yeah, we'll do a show there, we'll do a show. You want us to come to your room and just do like a cover
What?
of a song? And yeah, we did like...
Yeah, they requested
Yeah.
us to like do a birthday performance song for somebody.
It was someone's
And
gift.
like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, whatever you want. And it was just, we did so many like just free random
Pop-up stuff. It was
gigs
cool.
and-
It was cool.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Built, yeah, it was built character, I guess. Now we're just like, oh, well, now we're just like, if you're not paying us, then we're like less interested of like, because we're just,
There you go.
hey,
It
we
is
need to get
it is
paid.
case by case. You know?
Case by case, yes.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't turn you away if you're not paying us. We do like to help people, but it's, we gotta pay the bills too, and like taxes and stuff. We gotta think about taxes now.
I know.
It's so weird. I don't want to think about it. This man has to pay taxes. I think I get to avoid it for like a few more months.
But I say it's a blessing because that just means I'm moving up, you know.
It's true.
Because I didn't think this would be a place I'd be in. So that's I guess my final closing words. You know, don't limit yourself to what other people try to compartmentalize you by. You know, like if you see a vision and if you see it to be tangible, you think that you can achieve it, then figure out who your core members of that team that can help you and help push you to achieve that, because it is possible, it is doable, and you just got to have good ground to sow that seed and just make sure that people around you are like really going to help you harbor that, because like it's really limitless out here. Like go forth and prosper, you got this. So gang, A-Town, let's get it. 404 West Side.
All the signs.
Please keep going.
Oh gosh.
Lawrence?
Yeah, that's gonna grow in the trailer somewhere. Yeah, for me, you know, it's the same thing. You know, always do what makes you happy. Strive to seek happiness. You know, even if it's a struggle balancing, I don't know, your work life with your artistic life or whatever that your thing is. You should still like do that, because that's like the most important thing. At the end of the day, it's about being happy, and you can make all the money in the world, but you know, if you're not happy, then it doesn't mean anything. So happiness will give your life meaning, so you should always strive to go for that and do what makes you happy. Right now, you know, it's been a struggle balancing like Davidson with all the art stuff that we're doing, but you know, this is like what I love to do, and I'm totally okay with not sleeping or only sleeping like a couple hours every day a week, because you know we're doing like cool things like this podcast. We're making movies, we're making music, we're making moves, we're making memories and all that. You know, and that's the most important thing. So that's what I'll remember the most from my time here at Davidson. All the art stuff that we're doing, all the things that, you know, me stepping out of my comfort zone, doing the things that make me happy. The art has just helped make me a better person. You know, I've had to art's helped me fight who I was to become someone totally better, and you know, I'm a lot more happy now than I was before. So happiness is the key. Strive for that. Go forth and prosper. Be happy. Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 4. We'll see you for episode 5 at some point. Go have fun. Do your thing.
All right.
Peace out. Thank you to our Trilla G ENT members, Kathy and Nate. Appreciate y'all.
Most definitely.
Get off here. Thank you guys.
All right, baby.